describing like in the room,
How about just like
flow.
How about we talk about the flow of a daily visit, like the stuff that you do on a daily, like today is Wednesday. We have what, 2 new patients at the beginning of the shift or 1 new patient?
1 new patient.
At noon.
Yes.
Right. So we're going in. So like we're literally finishing this podcast. Jenna's probably going straight to the clinic. So this makes for a nice long day for you. Right.
It's okay.
And then I'll get ready and go into the clinic and I'll be there, you know, a little bit before noon, or I'll walk in right at noon or 12:05. And then we'll start with a new patient. So
yeah,
let's just go through what today's shift is probably going to consist of.
Sure. So new patient shows up at 12, hopefully a little bit early with paperwork filled out. If not, they'll sit down for a few minutes, fill out paperwork. We'll take them on a tour. So they'll get a nice tour of the clinic, see everything that we have to offer, and hopefully they will become a patient. We always are selective with our wording on tours, but
So, and just to further explain on that, she's saying that to be consistent with the sense that when someone comes in as a new patient, they're technically coming in essentially for a consultation to see if we can help them and accept them as a patient. Right. And that terminology is reflected back in our paperwork. That's a thing that, you know, we followed with Dr. Fred DiDomenico from Elite Coaching. I think it's a good framework because it sets the stage right from the very beginning, is that everyone that walks through the door is not automatically accepted as a patient. You're accepted based on our ability that we think we can help you. And then 2, that you're actually willing to put the work in and do what it's going to take to help yourself.
Yes.
Right. And some people are not there. And if they're not there, and we have 95% of our patients are there, we have to focus our attention on that 5%, and it takes away from the other people that want to be there. So we'd rather identify who these people are and say, you know what, this probably isn't the best fit for you.
Right.
And on the same note, I'll say some people come in like that and they change and they adapt and they realize this is what I want, but we help coach them in a encouraging way so that they can see this potential inside themselves that maybe they didn't see.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, because like they're walking in thinking this is just another chiropractic clinic, not like this is the fork in the road where my whole life is going to change.
Well, and I think that's part of why having an initial tour is so important, because more times than not, I would say probably like 99% of the time, by the time we meet them in consult, they're like, this is not like anything I've ever seen or experienced before.
Sorry, I feel like I'm sitting really low. I feel like I'm shorter than you, and I'm definitely not shorter than you. Everyone's like, man, Jenna's like 6'4".
I'm 5'5".
Okay. Okay. So sorry. So you're saying people come in and they're like, this is something I've never seen before.
Yes.
It wasn't what I was expecting.
Right. And so I think that's part of why a tour is so important. And we touch on certain aspects of the clinic as we're explaining what we do. And so having a tour to start off is really important. But just talking about like a normal Wednesday. So new patient comes in, tour, we sit down, do a consult with them. Either Dr. Todd and I start together, or I get them started just asking them questions, getting their history, asking them basically why they're here, like what's bothering them, asking lots of questions.
So just a side note of on that, for many years, I didn't feel like anyone else could actually do a consultation, and I had to do all of them. Mm-hmm. And it was hard to schedule and put it into the schedule to do it. And honestly, it's one of those things from like a mindset standpoint. Like, you know, I'm almost 20 years into practice right now. I really like adjusting patients and working with patients in the room. And I don't like having to do much else when I'm in the clinic. I like being able to change mindset. And when I'm at home doing virtual appointments and going over x-rays and recommendations, I don't like going over that in the clinic anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to partition my focus.
Yeah.
I also don't really like doing a consultation.
And I love doing consultations.
Right. So it's perfect because you do that part. I come in, do the exam part, double check, you fill me in, give me a summary, which we can actually go through it step by step. But like bird's eye view on this again, and I'm going to say this a lot, like bird's eye view, like a 30,000 foot view or 10,000 foot view or however high up you are. It's that Jenna's starting the consultation. She's doing the majority of it. Sometimes I don't even come into the consultation room and do anything. And the first time I'm meeting the patient is in the exam room / x-ray room. That happened because at first it was always set up where Jenna would come in. She would go through, introduce, explain all this. I would have to come in, explain subluxation, explain what we're doing today, review the history, and then high five and say, okay, I'll meet you in exam.
Yeah.
Right. Then sometimes it was like, ooh, I'm backed up doing something else. Hey, Jenna, can you just handle all of this on your own? She handles it all on her own. Guess what? The outcome, identical, literally. Right? So it's the same. So then I'm like, oh, I guess I don't have to go in the consultation room unless I'm, if I'm sitting there and have nothing else to do,
Right.
I'll come in and say hi. And,
Right.
but so more times than not now, new patients, the first time I'm meeting them is in the X-ray room. And it was my own headspace thinking I had to come in during the consultation, like that somehow did something magical. I think from a patient standpoint, for the most part, because of the way that Jenna and I do this, it doesn't matter either way. And so then what happens, Jenna takes them through history, consultation, explains what we're going to do today. Another staff member comes in, explains like insurance verification
Before,
and
usually,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay. So like all those things are handled. Patient already knows all the expectations of what's happening. And then I'm meeting them in the X-ray room / exam room to, and then Jenna basically fills me in front of the patient, or I'll look at the form and try to read through it. And I say try because sometimes I can't read the writing, even though she's got way better writing than I do. But I'll go through and try to read it, and we'll make a little joke about it. And then, like I'll say to the patient, okay, I'm going to see how well Jenna did at gathering information from you, right? And then we run through and do that. And the patient's like, yep, that sounds like it. You got it. Or like, I want to clarify one little thing. We'll make some notes. I go through the chiropractic exam part. So check spine, check posture. I call that out to Jenna as I'm doing it. She's recording it. Then I put BBs on the spine, or I mark up areas where we're going to BB the spine. That's more of a Gonstead, just specific full spine approach, where we're identifying levels of problem on exam. And then we're putting BBs on those problems, large BBs, to indicate this is a potential subluxation, a potential level of involvement in the spine. And then we're putting other BBs, like smaller BBs and little jagged washers and things on moles and freckles and other landmark scars, so that we can properly identify someone's anatomy, so we can be specific with our adjusting. So if you don't care about specificity, then all the stuff I'm talking about is overkill. We care about specificity, and we think it matters a lot. And I'll tell you, it also makes a great impression on the patient that they understand how much detail we're going into.
Exactly.
But it's not just a show. Like I do it because I firmly believe it matters.
Yes.
If someone's got a spondylolisthesis of L4 and you're adjusting L5 underneath it, you better make damn sure you're not adjusting L4.
Yeah.
Right?
It's important.
Yeah,
Very important.
super. Or someone has like a surgical fusion and you're adjusting by a surgical fusion. We're BBing all around the scars. Yep. I'm thinking of patients right now that we adjust on a daily basis that every visit they come in ChiroTouch, we double click on their full spine x-ray. It comes up on a 40-inch vertical monitor. I'm looking at it every time, even if I've adjusted the patient 30 times before, to make sure my landmark, okay, yep, third lumbar, that's right above the screw on that scar right there. I can contact the spinous process specifically and adjust them and not do anything to hurt the patient, right? Yeah. So I know I said I was going to have you go through it step by step. I've kind of already done it. Okay. So Jenna, just to back up, she does the stuff in the consult room. She escorts the patient over into the exam room. Some of you might be thinking, okay, but like what happens if a patient, is coming in and they don't know if they're going to be a patient yet, or it's, a surprise of the fees or the charges or that sort of thing. Truth be told, it doesn't happen very often in our clinic where someone says, oh, that's how much it costs for an x-ray, I'm going to leave. Or, oh, my insurance doesn't cover this, I'm going to leave. It just doesn't happen. And it's probably because the place we're at right now, most of our patients are from referrals. They come in from other patients. They've heard about what we've done. We've built a reputation. And so if we see 5 new patients in a week or 6 new patients in a week, it's pretty much 100% of the time they're all going to start and do some level of care. Yeah. It's not like they're walking out after the consultation and being like, okay, I'll call you later. That happens like once every 4 months or something, If that. Yeah, like super rare. But, on the flip side, Jenna, this isn't something that you're familiar with, but in some clinics, especially when they're just getting started and they're doing a lot of external marketing, and this is all good stuff to do, but it's just something that we're blessed with, that we don't have to do this right now. Or they're doing like Facebook ads, or they're doing something like someone's coming in for some sort of, deal, right? Hey, I'm going to come in for the $29 consultation, right? They're coming in and they're basically like in the mindset of, let's see if you're worthy enough for me to choose you to come in. Even in those cases, that's where the terminology needs to be. this is a patient application system. Yeah. We're going to see if we think we can accept you based on our ability to help you, right, and that you are in the right mindset and ability to actually do what you need to do, because this is a team effort.
Well, I was going to say, if you come in on a deal or just, I feel like that devalues things, or it lessens the value of care that they can receive.
And part of what we never do in our clinic is we would rather discount some sort of rehab tool like a home mobility kit, or like a J cane and a double lacrosse ball, or neck trigger point tool. That's something that we would rather do some sort of discount on, rather than discounting care or giving care away. Like, care has a set value. It is what it is. There's this added bonus that you can do because you came from X, Y, and Z advertisement. And I'm saying this because in the past, we've done Facebook ads and things in the past. It's primarily Dr. Zach does some Facebook ads here and there and gets people to come in. However, even the way that he does these, though, he does them by doing educational videos, trying to pique someone's interest on the quality of care that we do, and trying to speak to that and not just on the deal.
Yeah.
And so it's about attracting the right person.
Absolutely.
So because of that, Jenna can do the whole consultation. The patient's still there in x-ray. They know that they're going to be paying for their care that day because they're there because they want to be there.
And it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Like, we go over cost initially. They come in, fill out their paperwork, go on a tour. They go sit in a consult room, watch some testimonial videos. Someone will come in, one of our staff members will go in and explain cost to them, because we've either checked their insurance, or if they're going through Chiro Health USA, they'll explain the cost of that. And it's rare. Sometimes patients are like, I just can't do that today. If they're on the fence, if it's something that I can't handle, if I don't feel like I'm going to be enough to handle that objection, we'll have you come in. It's an easy process, though. But more times than not, like, literally, like I keep saying, 99% of the time, they're like, let's do it. I'm here for a reason. I'm here because I need your help.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Thanks for watching this clip from the MoveNow Chiropractor podcast. And be sure to join our free Facebook group, Functional Movement for Chiropractors, to learn more about how MoveNow University can help you with your systems and your clinical practice. Be sure to watch our 30-minute pre-recorded demo at demo.movenowu.com. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you on the next one.